What's up guys, today's video is on the top 5 best kitchen torches. Through extensive research and testing, I've put together a list of options that will meet the needs of different types of buyers. So whether it's price, performance, or its particular use, we've got you covered. For more information on the products, I've included links in the description box down below, which are updated for the best prices. Like the video, comment, and don't forget to subscribe. Now let's get started. Starting at number 5, we have the Spicy Dew Blow Torch. Sugar work is notoriously finicky. If you've ever made caramel or worked with melting sugar, you know how precise you need to be in order to achieve the desired results. So for creme brulee, a torch with raw power or crazy high heat output is actually not ideal. The torch needs a smaller, more precise flame that can melt sugar quickly to properly caramelize the sugar without blasting the custard underneath with too much firepower. This torch has a shorter nozzle, allowing for more flame control. The best creme brulee specific feature of this torch is the handguard. Right under the trigger, below the nozzle, there's a durable plastic visor that protects your hands from getting burnt when using the torch at an angle. This torch has a built-in base that a butane canister can be emptied into with a fuel gauge to let you know when it's time to refill. The downside is that only specific styles of butane canisters are compatible, so finding refills can be tricky. In order to correctly fill it, the butane canister needs to have a straw nozzle. Some of the parts of the nozzle are fittings made of plastic. Unfortunately, this is a much less durable material than metal and can break more readily, cutting the life of your torch short. Moving on at number 4, we have the Bernzomatic multi-use torch kit. This is the model I always use when working at the restaurant. It's incredible for quickly bruleeing bananas for banana pudding while I'm working shifts in pastry, relighting the gas burners on the range when the pilot lights inevitably go out, and achieving that mouth-watering browned crust the exterior of sous vide steaks. Chef Anya Wolf of I Love Cookware loves to use a kitchen torch to add a depth of flavor and umami to her food. She says, not only is it a versatile tool, but it adds a touch of restaurant quality to any dish. I always reach for this model because it has a high capacity, so I can use it every day without constantly replacing the fuel. The knob on the side makes the flame adjustable, so it's easy to toggle between a smaller flame for more precise tasks to a gigantic flame for when all you want is heat and power. Plus, it's nearly indestructible. I once dropped one of these down a massive flight of cement stairs into a restaurant kitchen basement, got to the bottom, and immediately used it to char some scallions, and it worked perfectly. I love it so much I even bought one for my home kitchen. Unlike my restaurant station setup, my home kitchen is very tiny, so this big guy does tend to take up a lot of space. It's also a bit top-heavy, so it can get knocked over easily, so storing it can be difficult. I've had the most success with laying it flat on an open shelf in my kitchen, but those with cramped spaces might find such a bulky torch challenging to store. The canisters themselves are not refillable, so they need to be purchased separately. Unlike the other torches on this list, the Bernzomatic uses propane instead of butane as a fuel source, which is critical to keep in mind when considering where to shop for fuel replacements. At number 3, we have the Iwatani Pro 2 Culinary Butane Torch. I'm a big believer that less is more, especially when you're trying something for the first time. I always find myself reaching for things that are easy to use over items with more bells and whistles. As a no-fuss, no-frill model, the Iwatani Pro 2 is an excellent torch for those starting out. There's an ignition trigger and a dial around the nozzle to adjust the flame, and that's it. The Iwatani Pro 2 also has a few built-in safety features like a sturdy, stabilizing base and a lock on the dial, which is especially handy when you're first starting out. Karen Ricks, head chef of our kitchen classroom and culinary instructor, loves the flexibility of kitchen torches and even uses them with children. They can be a wonderful tool for finishing dishes, with much more visible control and a lot less touching of hot dishware than when using a standard oven broiler. The torch itself is basically a nozzle that locks onto cans of butane, so it's easy to transport and take apart if needed. This means the canisters aren't refillable and need to be replaced, and this model can only use the Iwatani brand butane cans. Butane can get pricey, so replacing the cans is another expense to consider. This is on top of an already elevated initial price investment. However, some beginners might prefer this to also learning the process of how to refill other butane canisters. At number 2, we have the Sondiko butane torch. Clocking in just a hair under $20, the Sondiko butane torch offers excellent value for your money. This is a great torch for anyone on a strict kitchen gadget budget or someone who's simply unsure if they want to invest in a high-end model quite yet. The body of this torch is made from aluminum, so it's almost impossibly lightweight, and the body doesn't get hot after prolonged use. Unlike some other models, this torch doesn't have a nozzle that snaps onto a canister of butane. You have to fill it manually. Thankfully, it comes with plastic adapters to accommodate any style of butane tank, though its small capacity means you'll be refilling it more often. The most glaring downside of this torch is that there isn't a trigger or button to control the on/off of the flame. There's only a knob at the back to control the flame size, ranging from off to high. This can be annoying if you're working on a task that requires small bursts or more restrained heat, as it's difficult to control the fire. Even so, this torch is better than most at maintaining the flame and can be reliably used at any angle. And finally at number 1, we have the Joe Chef Superior RX. This torch was originally going to be my pick for best for beginners, because of its easy-to-use features. Then, I decided that it was actually best budget, since it was under $35. But then, because of its adjustable flame, I wanted it to be best for creme brulee. Once I realized it was my favorite across all categories, it became evident that this torch is undoubtedly the top pick. The flame is adjustable, so you can use it for delicate tasks, like toasting meringue, or crank up the heat to char a steak. It's smaller than some other models, so it's lightweight and easy to maneuver for precision tasks. The one major downside of this model is that the fuel containers are small, so if you use it often, you need to replace the butane regularly. Unfortunately, butane is not cheap, so this can get costly quickly. If you're more of a casual user or only plan to use it in short bursts, it's not as much of a concern. The fuel gauge on the side will tell you when it's time to refill, which is incredibly convenient. This model is also available as a bundle with up to 5 optional butane refills, so if you know you're going to use it a lot, it might be best to start with a few extras. Thanks for watching, and that's all for now. I hope to see you guys in the next video. Till next time.